So if you want to cut glass, the first thing you need is some glass. This is plate glass. You definitely don't want tempered glass. What you'll find if you do try and cut tempered glass is that it simply won't. Apparently you need to have a laser to cut it. I did try to cut some tempered glass once in the past. I didn't realize it was before I started. And what I discovered was you would score it, you would try and do the snap, and it simply wouldn't. It would bend on you. It would bend and bend until finally it just shattered into 1,000 pieces. So you definitely need plate glass. I'm right now using a piece here that's pre-broken because I stepped on it and I want to make a smaller, more usable piece. To do the actual cutting, well, you don't really cut. What you do is you score. So there is this, I don't remember where I got this from even, but they're available all over the place. They have this little wheel on them. Not sure if they'll show up. That is a carbide tip usually that just scores the glass. You also should probably have some glass cutting oil and a wax pencil which can write on glass. Now these wax pencils get dull really fast. Like this one, for instance, is almost unusable at this point. But they're very easy to sharpen, just not in the conventional way. I originally thought you could maybe use a crayon sharpener or even a knife, but neither works very well. In fact, you don't have to. They come with these strings on them that if you pull the string down just a little bit, it exposes some of this paper that's on here, because that's really all this is just paper. And then you effectively unwrap it here. And there we go. It just exposes a bunch more of it. So apparently I don't even need to do quite that much. So I will snap off just the part that I need. The next thing you need to do is make sure that we have oil on this. I'm not 100% certain what happens if you try and score glass without oil on the cutter. It's probably not good. This particular style has a reservoir inside of it. What you do is you just unscrew the top or the bottom, whichever way you look at it. And put a little oil in there. Looks like I went and dripped a little bit. Yep, definitely put a little too much. We'll see that I have oil also in this paper. It's definitely coming out. And I'm going to clean this up. Alright, to get started then you need to figure out where you want to cut. So in this case I want to cut off the broken part and maybe have, how handy I can have it almost exactly at a foot. But it's a little tricky sometimes to cut when it's near the edge right there. So in this case it would have a very small piece. So I want a little bit more for that, so maybe I'll just make it 11 inches. Now if I want this exactly 11 inches though, we have to remember that the cutter itself is indented by about 1/8 of an inch. So if I want it to be 11 inches, I really need to put my straight edge at something closer to 11 7/8. These markers aren't really accurate enough, I think, to truly mark it at that. That gives an idea at least. Yeah, I'm not impressed with the wax markers personally. So, next thing you actually need is a straight edge. I'm going to use a drywall straight edge just because that's what I have, but really any kind of straight edge will work at this point. You want to put it where the mark is where you want to score it, and then take your cutter and in one smooth motion. The idea is you're going to push this down a little bit to put some pressure on it and make a scoring cut all the way down. And you only want to do it once. If you do it more than once, more than likely it's not going to be in the same line, and what will happen is that it won't have a clean break on it. So the pressure that you put on it is, I'd say, moderate pressure. You don't want to bear down too hard, but you do want to actually have enough pressure on it to make a mark in it. So I put it down. You can hear the noise it's making, so you know it's working. Okay, then that's it for the scoring. I don't know if that's going to show up in the video or not, the score line, but it is visible down here. So then I go and take that pencil and put it right underneath where the score line is, and then just put some pressure on it. And I'm going to use gloves for this. Okay, I'm back now with some gloves that hopefully make this a little bit safer, and then try and just snap it on that line. And there we go, just a little bit of pressure, and it is a perfectly clean cut. This might be a little bit sharp, I'm not certain. This line almost for sure is, but that was broken from before. So we'll see how well we did size-wise. 11 exactly. 11 exactly. Not bad. So my broken piece is now a perfectly serviceable 11 by 16 sheet of glass for future use. Some other ideas here is, instead of using fulcrum under the score line, you can also sometimes use, if it's a smaller piece or an edge, more like the pliers, where you effectively snip it down a little bit. If you are going to use a fulcrum, it's also a little bit easier probably to have one that's roughly as long as the piece that you're going to do. The whole idea is just to give a clean line where you can kind of to push it down and snap it over. And that's pretty much it. Glass cutting made simple.